So, hello everyone. Today I want to mention something that you could help me maybe with.
Maybe.
Because in the movies, American movies of course, I've seen these like pranks that happens between usually kids or sometimes adults that could involve toilet paper and could be like funny to one side and not so funny to the other one. So
just kind of the definition of a prank, because
yeah.
it's funny for
So
one side and not the other.
Can you tell us something about American pranks?
I definitely can. Yes, so there are several types of American pranks, or sometimes we call them practical jokes, which doesn't mean it's a useful joke, it means you're joking with something physical. So it's not a joke like knock knock, like you're doing something to them. I have some experience with a few of these.
Okay, like you did it or
Oh,
they
yeah.
did it to you?
Oh, both.
Both. Okay.
Both. Okay, so first I'm thinking of two that are very typical for American teenagers. The most common one that I think is specific to the United States, I never saw this anywhere else, and that is called TPing. So TP...
Something with Indians?
No. TP...
TP?
TP for toilet paper.
Okay.
And then we turn it into a verb. So I TP'd his house, or we are TPing. Tonight we are TPing Frank's house.
Okay. Just a small question.
Please.
Is the toilet paper cheaper in the United States?
I think it must be. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cheap, yeah.
Do you know how many dollars?
These days, no. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
That's a question for you.
Yeah. Those who are still in America. Like, so with inflation, like, maybe it's not done anymore for economic reasons.
Maybe.
Another cultural casualty to climate change. But so as teenagers, like we would drive out at night, probably like after midnight. You would get a big case of toilet paper, and then you go out in the person's yard, you hold one end of the paper and you throw the roll up into the trees or over their house, or you completely wrap their car in this teepee. And if you do it well, then it looks like a haunted house, like with toilet paper just coming down everywhere.
I can think of a few reasons why would you do that. The first would be you want to anger someone, or you want to have a Christmas decoration, or it's your friend and you want to just bang it. So which would be the most usual?
So not the middle one. Has nothing to do with Christmas. It's perfect all year around.
Okay.
Sometimes kids would do it like to their teacher, to anger the teacher.
Okay.
For me, it was always against a friend. So it's and then like the next week they would do it to me at my house. So, and I think it's the perfect prank because it makes a mess, but it doesn't damage anything. So you're not actually making any problems. It just means usually
but you are making the person
to clean it
a lot angry.
Annoyed. Let's say if it's a friend, and the parent. So the parents will say, "Hey, your friends like TP'd our house. You get to go and clean it up."
It depends how many. Toilet paper you
The big problem is if you TP someone's house really well and then it rains. This makes a big mess. So this is bad. And because I didn't want to actually damage anything or cause real problems for anyone. It's just a fun joke. So when I TP'd someone's house, I would go home and actually be nervous about it raining, thinking, oh, I hope it doesn't rain because this would be too much. Because then the paper just disintegrates and it makes little pieces of paper that stick everywhere. This is no good.
But I know the Americans' houses are quite big, so how many toilet papers would you use usually?
We would usually
like
use
10, 20,
a case more.
Like 50?
Sometimes a case of, it could be 24 or 48.
Okay. So it could be 50.
If you have time and you really do it well.
You do this usually during the night?
Yeah, at night. Even better if they're on vacation. Then you can take your time. If you do it really well, it looks like it snowed. Yeah. This is the masterpiece of TPing. Yeah.
Christmas decoration.
Yeah. I see the connection, but it's usually done in summer when kids are bored.
Okay.
So another thing that we would do, that some people would do as teenagers, out with their friends at night, enjoying their freedom away from their parents, is something called a Chinese fire drill.
Does it have to do something with the Chinese fireworks?
No. Any other guesses what it could be? Just if you hear tonight we're going out to do some Chinese fire drills.
Something with the Chinese food. I have no idea.
That would make more sense, but no, it has nothing to do.
I have no idea.
I have no idea why we use Chinese. That seems a little bit racist. So you have a bunch of friends in the car, as full as possible. You stop at a stoplight when it's red. Everyone gets out of the car, runs around the car, and jumps back in the car before it turns green, and you start driving. It sounds silly. Okay, it is silly.
I've never seen that thing.
Ever. It's so much fun, because there might be some other cars, some traffic, and suddenly they see 10 people get out of a car, run around the car as fast, and people go different directions. So you're bumping into people, and everyone's trying to find a place to get back in the car.
Sounds a little bit dangerous.
A little bit.
Depending on how long is the changing from the green to...
Well, because I think that little bit of danger is actually part of the fun. I mean, teenagers. Teenagers are stupid. Okay. Hello, teenagers. Goodbye, teenagers.
And how many times did your friend did it?
This friend that I know of?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. And actually, this friend of mine...
He was driving, or even the driving gets out?
Yeah.
Ooh. And when he gets back, the driver is someone else. To make it more interesting.
My friend says it sometimes happened.
Okay.
And to make it more interesting, sometimes...
Not all people fit in.
Well, and sometimes my friend would go out with friends in 2 or 3 or 4 cars in a line, and everyone jumps out at once, and you have to find a spot in one of the cars before they take off. So then crazy things start happening because the drivers change, and not everyone might find, if they go to the front car and it fills up before they find a spot, they might have to run back, and it gets everyone panics. One time that my friend did this, a line of 4 cars, it was midnight, a line of 4 cars stopped at the stoplight, 25 people jumped out of the cars and directly... And
sounds like you were there.
My friend jumped out of the last car, looked behind the car. It was a police car directly behind us. He turned on his lights and announced through the loudspeaker,
"Get back in your cars!"
And everyone just jumped out, panicked, and half of the people just ran away, into the bushes. And my friend, didn't see them again until the next day. They had to find their own way home because they just vanished. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So very quickly, a few other typical jokes that I think are specific to Americans are, these I never did because they're mean, but school kids to other kids would do 2 things. One is called a wedgie. Mm-hmm. A wedgie is when you go behind someone, you see that their underwear is showing a little bit. You grab their underwear and pull.
Okay.
It's painful. Yeah, it's never been done to me. I've never done it, but this is something pretty typical. Mm-hmm. And the other one is called a swirly, where 2 bigger kids take a small kid, turn him upside down, put his head in the toilet, and flush it. So the swirly is because it swirls and makes his hair.
But does this happen nowadays?
I don't know. Again, never happened to me. I don't know anyone that it happened to.
Because
but in movies,
because it sounds like when with the country where there's so many guns and everybody can shoot everybody, this sounds like not such a good idea.
this might be a topic for a different video, but when you have bullying like this in a country with lots of guns, well, we know what also happens in the US. So school shootings might be a different video, a much more serious one. Let's just say you're not wrong that it's not a good idea. Okay. But this is something that you see a lot in American movies. I don't know if it still happens in public schools, but it's something that's kind of typically American, so called a swirly. Okay. So those are some fun and harmless and surprising and some mean and not nice practical jokes that are typically American.
Okay. Wow.
Of those 4, which one do you think you would try if you had to do one of those?
Okay. I would try the toilet paper one.
Excellent choice. This is my favorite. This is my friend's favorite. If you have any more questions or suggestions about America, son of
We're still.
Oh, hi.
But we can switch.